I'm going to tell you 7 things that you can do to instantly get better drone footage. Well, I'm actually going to tell you 8, but 7 of them you can do right now completely for free, where the last one, the bonus one, you are going to need a little something extra. My name is Justin and it is my sworn mission to help you get the best drone footage you possibly can. And if you've seen me before, welcome back, and if you're new around here, it's great to have you. The first one is filming individual clips. I often see people just press record as soon as they take off, fly the entire flight, and then hit stop when they land. Do not do this. It's going to make it much harder to find the clips that you want to use when you're editing, and it's really not a good use of storage space. What you want to do is get set up for one shot, start recording, film that shot, stop recording, and then do it like this. This is going to make you think more about each individual shot as its own shot, so you're going to be thinking more consciously and you're going to get better shots as a result of this. The next thing we're going to discuss is lighting. Now, when you're shooting in the daytime, you want to be shooting with the sun, not into the sun. So if you think of this is your subject, this is the drone, this is the sun. You want the sun shining from behind the drone, lighting up your subject. Otherwise, your subject is going to be really shadowed out and it's not going to look as good. Now, because of this, you are going to have to sort of think about what the best time of day to capture that specific subject is going to be, because as the sun moves across the sky, different parts of the subject are going to be in shadow throughout different points throughout the day. The one main exception to this rule is if you're filming at sunrise or sunset. During these times of the day, you are probably going to be shooting into the sun to capture, that magnificent sunrise or sunset. This is okay because you can use this to your advantage to get really nice silhouettes with people or trees or anything else in the foreground that's going to look interesting as a silhouette. And you're also going to get the bonus of capturing all those beautiful red, orange, purple, pink tones in the sky when shooting a sunset. The next thing you want to do is you want to add depth to your clips. So think about things that you can put in the foreground to separate the foreground from the background to create more of a feeling of depth within your shots. So if you're flying around a tree or some rocks or any other objects, try and place your drone close to them to create a foreground background separation. Adding depth is a really nice way to transform your footage. And if you add some really nice subtle movement in with the drone, it's going to take things to the next level. Whilst you're capturing your shots, you also need to be thinking ahead to the edit. What type of video are you trying to make and what shots are going to best help you make this video? You need to try and think about filming shots that are going to have complementary movement going from one shot to the next one to try and help you tell the best story you can and have the video feel like it's flowing as best it possibly can. An example of this is when you're capturing shots of a subject from different distances, try to think ahead to think how you want all these shots to link together and what type of shot is going to help you achieve that the most effectively. And the sun's come out again. Another example of this is if you're tracking something like a car, try to have the car moving in the same direction in all the shots so it feels like the fluidity is maintained throughout the whole video. Only have the car change direction if your video is having a change of direction. Say that something drastic has happened, the video is changing, then you could have a top-down shot of the car turning around and going the other way. That's a pivotal moment that you can use your shots to help elevate, but try and keep things consistent. Make things follow the same movement trajectory. The next thing is going to be capture more footage than you think you need. Hear the bird? So there have often been times when I've been flying and getting my shots, and then I've got home and realized I've only actually got like 3 or 4 clips and I don't have enough footage for what I intended to create. So you always want to take more footage than you think you're going to need. And I have a saying here, which is you don't have to use every clip that you film, but you can't use any of the clips that you didn't film. So make sure to film a few extra clips. Don't go crazy, but make sure that you have a few more than you think you might need, because a little more is always better than a little less. But make sure that you're capturing a good variety of shots and interesting shots that are going to make your video stand out. The next thing you want to do is you want to just go out there and fly more often. The more you fly your drone, the better you're going to understand what it can do, its strengths, its weaknesses, and you're also going to want to make sure that you're trying out all of its different flying features and shooting modes, because some features are going to work better than others for different types of situations. So make sure that you're going out there and you're really getting to grips with your machine, because the more you fly your drone, the better the shots are going to be. It's as simple as that. It's quite a nice spot, this, actually. So it's all well and good now we've got amazing footage, but good footage is no good without a good edit. Now, color grading is extremely important when it comes to our drone footage, and the tendency that a lot of people have when they start editing is just to oversaturate things. So while you're color grading, try and make sure that you have a nicely balanced image, your exposure is nice, your highlights and your shadows are well balanced and look natural. And if you're starting color grading, saturate it to the point where you think it should be and then just pull it down a little bit. And that's probably going to be exactly where you want it to be. And then you can start thinking about putting color grades on different looks. I often tend to go with a teal and orange style look, but that's just down to personal preference at the end of the day and how you want your particular footage to look. Now, along with color grading, our drones need sound design. Drones like this do not capture any audio, because if they did, it would just sound like this. And that is not going to make a cinematic video. What you want to do is think about all the sounds you're hearing in your surroundings when you're taking the video. So right now, I can hear the waves crashing. I did hear that bird going, oh, oh, but it appears to have shut up for now. And I've got a bit of the wind noise, and you just want to add all of these things into post-production to make your footage seem natural. Think about sound design as you want to make your footage sound natural and then accentuate it ever so slightly. So add natural sounds and then add those little things that are going to give it that special touch. If you do want to learn more about sound design, I have a completely dedicated video that I will link at the end of this one, and I'll also put it down below in the description. It's time for the bonus tip, and the bonus tip is going to be using this little guy on the front here, which is an ND filter, and that's going to mean you need to be shooting in manual camera settings. Shooting in manual camera settings is going to take your footage to the next level, because you can lock all of the settings and you get a really nice consistent image across each clip of your video. This is going to make your footage look way more professional and let you have more control over how your image actually looks. And ND filters are going to help you to get the correct exposure, because when you change these settings to the optimal setting, which is going to be ISO as low as it can be, which is 100, and you're going to want your shutter speed to be double your frame rate so that you get natural motion blur. Motion blur is going to change the game if you're flying close to objects, because you're going to get nice natural motion blur as you pass by them. So what you need to be doing is you need to follow the 180-degree shutter rule, which states that your shutter speed should be double the frame rate that you're filming in. So if you're shooting in 30 frames a second, your shutter speed should be 1/60, and then you just match up an ND filter, which gives you the correct exposure for a natural looking image. If you want to learn more about ND filters, I do have a completely in-depth video guide on how to use them. It is specific to the Mini 4 Pro, but the principles apply to all different types of drones. And if you want to check that out, you can click it just here. And if you want to learn all about sound design and emphasizing your footage with audio, you can check this video out just here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.